All right, boys, bring it in.
You threw that one at me. I wasn't really prepared for that coming up right away.
Well, you got up and walked away, so I waited till you sat down again to transition.
Well, anyway, for most of the, I don't know, for my entire coaching career, I always preach defense first. And that things always start in our zone. If you can't get the puck out of your zone, you can't do anything on offense. So Valley was touching on that in the post game, not touching on it. He made a big point of it that these kids have to get back into the zone and get the puck out. One of my big things is what I call, I don't know what the NHL professionals call it, but I call it the defensive side of the puck. That's when you're in a position on a forecheck, on a back check, in your zone, being between the puck and your goaltender. All right. So in other words, if they're doing that, if they're doing the Rangers are doing the 1-3-1 like we talked about, right? The Rangers are going this way on offense, and they have the one player back. When that puck comes up the wall, if the puck comes up the wall to the Kraken player, and this Ranger player goes on this side, he can get beat and chip by and lose control, and they can gain the zone. So what you want to do is you want to be on the defensive side of the puck, not on that side. So if the puck does squeak through, you can still take the body and hold that player up from getting through, and then this other Ranger player can come in and get the loose puck, and it's not another battle. So in all parts of the zone, if the player has the puck on offense, the Kraken player here, if the Ranger player goes in and tries to beat him on this side, the Kraken player gets through. But if you're on the defensive side of the puck, you're now letting that player through and creating an odd man rush. Because as soon as that player gets beat, now it's an odd man rush in the zone. So you have to continually keep it even strength. And it's all about getting position angles to create that defensive side of the puck. Even on a forecheck, if we're in the offensive zone, the puck gets sent hard around. The Kraken player gets it. If this player, the Ranger player, cuts across and gets on the wrong side of that player, the Kraken player can now make a pass on a breakout. But if he's on the defensive side of the puck, it has to get through the player, and then you could still hold this player up from joining the rush. So in all three zones, to me, that I call it the defensive side of the puck. I forget what Valley actually called it, but that's a good description of how you need to play in all three zones. Those there's little games within the game, and that's one of them. Line changes
Yeah.
are a different story. We had 3 line change penalties in our games in Stony Brook in the weekend, but other than that, that's one of the little games within the game that's very important, a little nuance.
What about in the defensive zone as far as a breakout goes? I mean, Valley was saying, he said he was trying to explain something along the lines of leaving the zone as a 5-man unit. So would you be able
Well,
to draw something up like that? What he meant by that?
that's one of the big things. Again, at every level, and I think because so many of these players are so offensive coming up through the ranks, when they're because they're the better offensive player until they get to the NHL, then it kind of evens out more. Again, like I said last week, there's top, let's say, 50 players in the NHL that are phenomenal and head and shoulders above most players in the league, but then everything else kind of, to me, evens out, and then you have your fourth line. But I'm saying the middle six, to me, kind of evens out for the most part, where every team has those young players. They keep talking about these teams developing young players. Every team has these young players now. It's not one or two teams.
There's
But
a lot of
anyway,
good players in the league.
what he's getting at is if the puck comes around the wall, the Rangers, the D sends it around. He's got pressure on. He sends it up the wall. If this center starts heading up north and the wing is out here trying to get an odd man rush, and this guy's trapped and pinned before he
Leaving the
gets
zone
control,
early.
right, before he gets control of the puck, you shouldn't be leaving the zone. The center has to support. And again, it depends on the situation in the game. If it's a tie game, winning by a goal, losing by a goal, this center or whatever support is here should be even so that this player has support, or if he's battling, he could join the battle again on the defensive side of the puck. If he joins the battle on this side of the puck and digs in, the Kraken player can get out. Now we have 2 players trapped. So again, position is important. So if you're here, you could chip it to the other ranger to get out, like it join that battle, or you could be here for him to kick it out, and now you have two wings going out. The Kraken D has to be a little more passive because they're trapped in the zone. So, like Valley was saying, until you buy into all 5 players being in, all these players have the speed to get up ice very quick. So there's no need to be hanging somebody. And they also have the speed to, when there is control, to jump the D for that breakaway, like Hedel got the other night. Most of them have that speed in the top 6, middle 6. So to cheat is unnecessary. It more often bites you in the ass than helps. So I think that's what he's talking about. Everybody needs to be in the zone, read the play, then jump it when there's control, not
Right.
before.
Yep. And then gaining the neutral zone and entering the offensive zone as a 5-man unit increases your probability of scoring a goal or being successful or gaining the zone successfully, because obviously defending a 5-man unit or a 3-on-2 or a 4-on-2, whatever the case may be, is a lot harder to defend than, say, a 2-on-2 or a 1-on-2 where you only have one guy carrying the puck.
It makes the other team have to make decisions. If there's 5 guys coming at you, as opposed to 2, if there's 2 coming at you, each defenseman looks at each other and says, I got him, and it's an easier game. But if there's 5 guys coming at you, they have to make more decisions.
And it's easier to establish a forecheck because when you have 1 or 2 guys bring the puck out and dump it in, you're not getting set up in the offensive zone. You're not supporting each other offensively either. You notice the Rangers in the last game, I noticed at least, they were dumping the puck in and they were able to forecheck and retrieve pucks because they were supporting each other. Lafreniere makes a hit. There's a guy right there on the Rangers. That's too often lacking with this team, I feel like, on the forecheck.
Well, we talked about that a lot last year, whereas Gallant kind of preached like dump and chase, but they weren't chasing. They were just dumping, like Panarin, Laffy. Well, Laffy, he always skated hard for the forecheck for the most part, but a guy like Panarin would just dump it and then just coast. Or
unless you're getting a line change, a dump in like that without chase is just pointless.
It's pointless. You're just giving the team the other puck.
And the other teams, I noticed it too. These teams aren't the best teams in the league that the Rangers have been playing. I mean, they're going to face some stiffer competition, and they all transition the puck really well. Arizona, pucks fast. Up and out. As soon as they get the puck, it's doing one pass out of the zone, one pass out of the zone. Every team is playing that way. So you got to get in on a forecheck. And I feel like, Coach, what you're describing to me, and Little Ed too, like the 5-man unit going up, it makes it harder for the other team to transition out too, because there's more bodies, there's more traffic. So
yeah, I mean, look at the Devils last year in the playoffs. Again, we keep talking about the different style of play in the playoffs. That hanging at the red line is only going to go so far because the teams are so good you're playing that. Yeah, you might get 2 breakaways a game, score on 1, but how many times you're doing that and you're leaving a guy open in your zone and creating a scoring chance the other way? That's another stat that probably isn't around. For all those times that Jack Hughes is getting that, Jack Hughes is getting that breakaway. How many times does he jump in the blue line, leaving a guy open, and the other team's getting offensive zone time more, tiring out your team, wearing down the goalie, over the course of 60 minutes, 5 games, 6 games, that all that stuff adds up. And
well, there is a stat for that. There is a stat for that. It's puck possession, right? So, I mean, if that happens, you're going to lose the puck.
And I understand that stat, but I'm saying when they're trying to do that play where he's jumping the D and trying to get that home run pass, how many times isn't he getting it and the other team is able to sustain zone pressure?
Yeah, we talked about that last year.
The puck possession stat probably shows that a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about that last year. Little Ed brought that up on that goal Hughes scored against the Rangers, where if he misses that pass or the play doesn't happen exactly that way, the Rangers have like a 4-on-1 or something. I forgot what it was.
Right.
Yeah. Let's look at it was a power play, so it would have been a 5-on-3 if
it was a huge risk.
Whoever was able to keep that puck in.
Let's talk about just 2 examples that come to my mind. I say it to kids all the time. When Ovechkin was actually bought into playing like that, that's when they won a cup. And look at Jack Eichel. Big example. They blew that up on NHL Network last year about how he matured, how he's in his zone behind the net, working the breakout, and he has the speed to join the play and create offense going down. So when these kids realize that, playing the right way, you could still be offensive but still have responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they won the cup too, by the way. So good
Right.
examples.
That's what I mean. When he matured and how he matured in Vegas and got healthy and played that kind of game, they won the cup. It's a big difference.
Yeah. All right. Good coach's corner with Coach Ed.